guys, so I'm back in Genoa in Italy, and I've just come back. I've just driven back from the UK in the mighty Kia Sportage. If you've looked on my other channel, you'll see that there's a video that just got posted on there that documents the whole trip. It's an interesting video. Didn't run out of fuel this time, so yeah, go and check it out. I'll put a link below and in all the usual places. Yeah, I had a great trip on the way down. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's hard. It's tiring. You know, it's an 18-hour trip. I divide it into 2 days, but it is exhausting to drive so long. Crossed over the Channel Tunnel on the train, through the Mont Blanc. So 2 massive tunnels. One is 50 kilometers long. The other one is 11 kilometers long. So please do go check out that other video. We're going to check out this boat in just a second. So yeah, I just wanted to say a couple of things. The channel is on 98,600 subscribers as I film this video. So if you're not already a subscriber, please do so, just to get me over that 100,000 mark. Like I said in a post, for every subscriber up to 100,000 kittens will be freed. So unless you hate kittens, make sure you subscribe. Let's get on and let's have a look at this boat behind me. So this is called Motor Yacht Queen Miri. It's a 2004, delivered in 2004, but it wasn't called Queen Miri back then. It was called Annalisa. It was built for a British businessman, and he built it as a charter vessel. And the idea was, you know, charter, get as many people on as you can. And as a result of that, it was built with a capacity of 36 guests. At the time of its build, it was an 85-meter boat with 3,000 gross tons. So 36 guests, that's a lot of people for a boat of that size. And the idea was obviously to charter the vessel and to make money from it. So it was built as a charter vessel. Now, because it was built in 2004, the codes back then, the large yacht codes and stuff like that, didn't account for a vessel to carry so many people. So it was actually built to commercial standards. And if we look in the original photos when it was called Annalisa, you can see it has davit launched lifeboats on the sides of the vessels. And if you look here, well, I'll show you in a minute, they're not there anymore, so they've been removed. The boat was sold and it spent some time out in the Middle East, and the name changed to Delma. And then in 2016, the boat was bought by an American businessman called Sheldon Adelson. He sent it to Amico shipyards in Italy, in Genoa, right here, and it went through a 2-year conversion. It's the best word to describe it, is a conversion. And it went from an 85-meter 2,900 gross ton vessel to a 92 meter. It was extended 7 meters and it gained 400 gross tons. So what they did is they took away the amount of work on this vessel was incredible. In actual fact, in some of the literature from Amico, it says that it was almost like a new build, that they did so much. They took away the davit lifeboats, because by this time we had a new code that could be used for yachts called the passenger yacht code, which allows for up to 36 guests. So I think as a result of that, they were able to take away those lifeboats, because it's not a requirement under the passenger yacht code, but it is under the class, the commercial class that it was probably built under. The vessel was extended, so the stern section, it had something that's known as a stern extension, and they basically extended the stern. But to do that, they had to cut back 16 meters of the hull to account for the hydrodynamics. So they had to make sure, obviously, it still was that it was still hydrodynamic, able to move through the water at good speed. So they had to cut back the hull 16 meters. And when they did so, they removed the engines and the generators, and they fitted new engines and generators. Now, when a vessel like this is built, the engines and generators are fitted during the build phase, because once the boat is finished, you can't get them out without cutting the hull. So they took that as an opportunity, while they had the hull in pieces, to actually remove the engines and generators and put new ones in. They also fitted in the stern section. They also fitted a tender garage that could be flooded, and you can see the boat that's in there right now. That's actually on the water, and they could fill it with seawater, and it's effectively a swimming pool. So you can have a seawater swimming pool that holds, I think it holds 90 cubes of water in there. And the reason why it's seawater is because the boat couldn't produce enough fresh water to fill that pool. Also, it's effectively a tender garage that you can swim in. So it's an incredible amount of work that they did. Like I said, they extended the amount of room up on the aft section there. They extended to gain all that extra space. And like I said, they created a vessel that was 7 meters longer than original. So it's now it's a 91.5 meter vessel. And also the interior was completely done as well. So he had his own tastes of interior, so he went through the whole boat. All of the work that they did took 2 years. So the vessel was in Amoco shipyards, the shipyards that's not that far from here, for 2 years. So that's an incredible amount of work, and the quality of the finish was described as a build spec quality. In other words, that it was almost like a new build. And that must have, the cost of that, I can only imagine, massive amount of money. It's no longer, as long as I know, it's no longer a charter vessel. It's still posted on charter websites. It says $2.2 million a week, or 1.8 million euros. I have a feeling though, since 2016, since Sheldon Adelson bought it, I don't think it's a charter vessel anymore. Now, if you know, if you're an American, you may know that Sheldon Adelson died in January of this year. I haven't seen the vessel sold, so I suspect that it is still owned by the family of Sheldon Adelson. By the way, the name, Queen Miri, Sheldon Adelson's wife's name is Miriam, and the vessel's named after her, so I have a feeling that might be a nickname that he gave his wife. One of the things about the boat that I've noticed whilst I've been looking at it is it does have a commercial feel to it. Almost reminds me of a cruise ship rather than a super yacht. I think it's, you know, because of the way it was originally built, no doubt. But yeah, it is quite interesting that I did get that I did get the cruise ship feel from it when I was looking at the deck and the way the deck heads are done, and the way the fairing is done on the outside. I don't know why, but I just got that. I got a cruise ship feel to it. It is a big yacht for its size, if that probably doesn't make sense. But what I mean is that for a 90-meter boat, it is quite large in its volume. And that's obviously because of the 36 guest capacity. The interior pictures I found online show what it's like on the inside. It's quite amazing. So the boat was actually built in Greece, on an island called Syros. It was built by a company called Neorion, and despite what that sign says up there, that sign says Amoco. Amoco don't build new boats. This certainly wasn't built by Amoco, but the amount of work that went into this vessel over that 2-year period, obviously they felt that they could put that badge up there. I mean, it was a massive refit that they did. New engines, new generators, new interior, stern extension, but you know, essentially they didn't build it originally, but yeah, still a massive amount of work that went into it. All right guys, I'm going to wrap up the video now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at this boat. So I'm going to be here for the next couple of months. But the great news is that the restrictions that we've had since I've been here in the past are now slowly being lifted. We're in a yellow zone now, not an orange zone, which we were before, which means I can now explore the Liguria region. That's what we're in so far, which means I can go to Imperia, I can go to Portofino, places like that. I'm hoping that before I go home, that all the restrictions will be lifted, and then I can go wherever I want, and hopefully I can go to Monaco. The Monaco Grand Prix is on this month, so I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the Grand Prix, which sucks. I don't think I'm actually allowed across the border. Anyway, stay tuned anyway for more videos from Genoa and from Italy and from the the Riviera, Mediterranean, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. All right, guys, bye-bye. If you wondered why I introduced this video with bagpipes in Italy, it's because I just bumped into that guy who was dressed in the uniform of Malta. He was an Italian playing bagpipes in Molavecchio in full uniform, marching up and down the pier, which is so strange. I talked to him actually, and he was a very nice chap. But bagpipes have nothing to do with Genoa as far as I know. He got the bagpipes in Scotland, and he's very much a fan of all things bagpipes, apparently. Completely random things you find at the marina. All right, guys, bye.